Hello and welcome to another episode of All I Do Is Fail / we're going to be in lockdown for another 3 weeks. Let's try and survive. I'm joined today, as ever, by my co-host, Mr. Ali Woods.
Hey Tom, hey listeners, how's it going, Tom? You all right? You've not tidied any of that room
No,
since we started lockdown.
no,
You've not kept yourself busy in any way.
no.
A lot of people's homes look absolutely spotless, but you have gone the other way, and I sort of respect you for
I'm
that.
going against the grain. People are organising their whole lives. I'm de-organising mine, if
Yeah,
anything.
you've never been more disorganized. Your
Yeah.
room's never been messier.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. We are joined today by the fantastically funny and amazing Mr. Jamali Maddix. Hello.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, Top, you got a studio flat? Because you look like you got a whole living room in your flat. You got like two sofas. Why you got two chairs? Why you got two comfortable chairs in your bedroom?
Tom's plumbing it as a comedian. No, I've literally gone down to one conservatory. It is absolutely brutal.
I'm genuine at my mum and dad's house right now. That's why. Okay, you feel it. Yeah.
Where are you, Jamali? What's your not exactly? What's your flat set up?
Yeah, give you my. No, I'm at my sister's yard, man.
Okay.
I'm at my sister's.
Is that right? You get on?
Huh? Yeah. She's my older sister. I guess. I don't know. We're not like You ever seen them like those siblings that like each other too much and it's a bit weird?
Yeah. Well, certainly now because of social media, you've got like channels with sisters or siblings and like doing videos.
Unless you're twins, have your own lives.
Yeah.
But if you're twins, you can't have your own life.
That's what kind of fell off. You know, twins, twins used to be special. Like, people would travel to see a pair of twins. Like at the circus and shit.
Yeah, no like the 30s.
About twins no more. No one gives a fuck about twins.
What sort of golden age are you harking back to?
Bro, the 1920s. That's make England great again. Take us back to the 1920s where you knew your neighbor.
Freak shows.
The big problem is now, mate. You don't see twins getting any crowds anymore. This country isn't what it was.
I wouldn't mind like freak shows. I think they should bring freak shows back.
What would you want?
I can think of a few problems with that, but
I say that. I mean, there's kind of like, you see problems. Don't be so PC. No, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Like, I think we're so desensitized. Like, if you show me a bearded woman, you kind of go, all right, shave it. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't really give a shit. Where I can't think of anything that will blow my mind. Maybe like, I like to see babies smoking. You ever seen like YouTube videos of babies smoking? Like, I really enjoy baby smoking. Like, I think that shit's hilarious.
It's always some kid in Indonesia and his parents are giving him
fat kid smoking. I think that shit's amazing. Love watching the kids.
And they smoke like that with their feet because their hands are so small.
And they're probably like, I think that shit's hilarious watching a baby smoke.
You two are horrendous. What on earth?
It's lockdown.
I want to be like, you know, when you're at school and you want to be like with the cool kids and be like, yeah, man, like honestly, like 2-year-olds, 1-year-olds, like I love it when they vape, but I can't do it.
Yeah, man. Not vaping. I want to see them smoke cigarettes, bro.
Yeah. Okay. How are you handling? Not gigging and all that? How you finding it?
I'm kind of fucking mental, man. Like, I'm ready to just, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just such a fucking surreal situation, isn't it? And it's like, not to lose the tone of comedy in the podcast, but
no, don't worry. We'll handle that side of things, Jamali.
It's just how the whole fucking everything has changed, and there's so many people losing their jobs and. And it's like the motherfuckers on TV talking about we can't save every household, we can't save every business, and you go, wow, these motherfuckers, like, people are gonna go bankrupt, man. Like, it's real serious. Like, and I'm in that sort of like weird position in life where I was blessed to be able to have some savings, or I was, I'm sort of blessed that I'm a freelancer and that I work in the creative industry. So even whenever I feel like, oh man, so shit, like I'm one of the few luckier ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not rich by any stretch of imagination and all that type of stuff, but I'm one of the few luckier ones, because I think, and stuff I've heard about what corporations are sort of doing to their workers is just, it's fucked. So, I'm pissed and I'm bored and all of that type of stuff, but, it could be fucking worse, man.
Well, just for our industry, like, they just announced literally 2 hours ago, it's going to be 3 more weeks of like hard lockdown. But in terms of like, when will people actually be able to congregate in a small dark room again? Let's say like 100 people. 6 months it could be easily.
Fuck
Easily 6 months to a year.
You
So
think
like,
so?
yeah,
Fuck, man.
it could be
You might be
like,
able to get some good material by then. Tom.
You just terrorize. you maybe have to write a fucking premise by then, innit?
Right, yeah.
No,
If
but
you write tight separate,
yeah, right. But I don't know. I mean, it's just like I think live comedy is because I was talking to my mate and was it Elliot Still? You know
yeah,
Elliot.
yeah,
And it's one of the things of it's like I was talking to him. I was like, you know what? Comedy is going to be the last thing motherfuckers are going to care about. You know, oh, we better make sure the comedians can make money. They don't give a fuck about us. We're not the lowest of the low in society. They don't give a fuck when we can go back on stage, man. It could be a year and a half, a year, 6 months, but it's what it is. What are you gonna do? I think by like, say if they say a year, by 7 months, I think people are gonna have illegal gigs. Like underground comedy shows,
The old
I
what's
think
it, Prohibition era?
I think
speakeasy.
motherfuckers are gonna go just
sneak in some
I
laughs.
think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's right. But I think people are. I think especially people are gonna be desperate and people are gonna want entertainment. And I think when then those things come together, motherfuckers are gonna do it anyway. I think it's gonna happen.
People need their fix of baby smoking, man. They can't just do it on YouTube. They need the live. They need the live.
Have you thought about doing any like Zoom gigs or any of that?
No. Fucking, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
No, actually, can we edit that out? I feel real bad because I feel like I'm
fuck it. No, we've been firm believers on this podcast. Last few weeks we've said it's so dumb.
You know what? Let me rephrase.
That's funny that Jamali Maddix famously speaks his mind, but when it comes to Zoom gigs, he's like, "That's too far.
Come on, man.
No. Because you know what? Yeah, because the only reason for me, I don't think it works. Right? I don't think it transitions well. I think there's things we can do with Zoom in the frame of comedy, even if it's an online panel show or whatever the fuck. I get that. But I think stand-up needs presence of people. And it doesn't work through a screen. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the only times you should really watch specials if you can't see that person live. Do you know what I'm saying? Though? Like, it sort of works off of that principle. And I think what makes a special as well is when the audience are laughing in the room in time. Do you know what I'm saying though? Yeah. Like I don't think it works just in a void and people watching on their laptops and me talking. It just for me it don't work. So but the only reason I'm trying to be not slagging it off is because I mean people go eat, and if that's a way they can do it and they can make some money from it, I ain't gonna fucking hate. I don't think they're ruining the art form of comedy. I think they're people who need to fucking pay their bills. So whatever they need to do, if it's fucking sell coke or fucking do Zoom gigs, do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah. Comedy is going to be an interesting state in 6 months' time.
I like that they're the same. They're the same Zoom gigs in your eyes.
Yeah.
Selling cocaine, Class A drugs, or you're just doing a Zoom gig.
Pay your fucking bills. That's the point I'm making. Just pay your fucking bills, man. Do what you got to do, bro. If you got to go on Zoom and do a stand-up show, then fucking do that shit. But I'll be real with you, man. Like I'm interested to see what the state, like you said, the state of what comedy is going to be. Because it's going to be a weird thing because it's going to be so long. If it's like a year, it's going to be such a long time we ain't being able to do comedy. I wonder how mature the writing's going to be because I'm going to be coming in there without being on stage for a year. So I haven't been keeping up with what is like my material wouldn't have grown maybe. Does that make sense? Like, so I'm still going to be like, do I go up there and talk about Corona for an hour or do I...
You do your old stuff because it'll be very...
But do you do your old stuff though? Because it's like...
I don't know if you can.
That shit from a year ago, like you're a different person in a year, like your whole cells have changed in your body and shit. Like, are you even that person anymore? Like, I really don't know, man. I hope one day I get to do stand up again.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I hope I have a job to come back to.
Audiences might not even want the old stuff when you start talking about being outside and stuff. Audiences being like, "No, fuck you, I don't want to hear that." Like, I want to hear.
We want to hear that.
I feel like they want to hear that. I
want
to hear the glory days.
Yeah.
Be like,
I don't know, man. It's just,
it's like Brexit times 1,000. That's what I felt. It's like as soon as you mention Corona on stage, I feel like everyone's gonna go, "Oh, grown."
Well, it's gonna get overdone and everything, everyone's gonna sort of have their hot take. But I think, as long as you personalize it and that, like I'm trying to write some bits right now and it's kind of hard because I'm sort of in a vacuum.
It's a struggle for the comedians who have loads of bits on traveling and being in hotel rooms. You know, when you're going from the bedroom to the living room, and the service is always delayed.
Those plane bits are going downhill right away.
Right, man. It's gonna be it's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard.
As for the listeners who don't know, Jamali hosts a show on Vice called "Hate Thy Neighbor," which is fantastic.
I did a long time ago. Yeah, I don't do that no more.
Completed it.
Completed it, done it, smashed it, completed it. But I was just saying, as someone who's done alternate kind of media during this time, you must be quite happy because I'm sure your views must be going up on that because people have just got less time.
I mean, I'll be real with you, but I don't really like the show. I never watched the show, so I don't really give a fuck if people watch it.
That is consummate promoter Jamali Maddix
of his own.
Why didn't you like the show?
Yeah, it's a long story. We'll talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, but it's just.
Cheers! Great content for the podcast.
Yeah. No, sorry, bro. Sorry.
Quickly before we move on to your fails, I just got I was a genuine fan of the show. Like I really enjoyed it.
Kind. Thank you.
Yeah. But can I just quickly ask us about one episode? You know the episode where you went to the prison camp with the
kids? with little kids, yeah.
Were you like at any point, especially with like that autistic boy and those guards? So basically, for the listeners who don't know, like Jamali went to a sort of, was it a correctional program for young kids?
Yeah, it's like that sort of Scared Straight program where they get little kids and they take them to a jail for like 3 days and nights, and they stay in the jail, and basically they're like make them do exercises and basically tell them if they carry on being bad, that's where they're going to end up, is in jail. And what it is it's just prisoners, and they show them and they take them to all the prisoners, and all the prisoners just tell them how they're going to rape them.
Yeah.
That's not how I thought.
Literally, that's what the program is. It's just they go there and they just tell them how they're gonna rape them.
Yeah, and the guards are screaming.
Rape them, that's it.
Yeah, the guards are screaming at this little autistic boy, being like, "You're gonna end up someone's girlfriend," and it's just like, "Oh my god!"
You know what though? It's gonna because it's one of them things. It's not funny, but you have to find the humor sometimes. Yeah, is that there was times where. How can I put this? You kind of wondered if he understood what's going on, because I don't think he's not stupid just because he's got autism. But there is a difference in how they perceive reality, from what I understand.
Process it,
And there were some times where he just they were all like shouting at all of these kids, and they're like, "Man, we're gonna rape you, and you're gonna fucking be my bitch, and you're gonna suck my dick, and all this shit." And then at the end, all the kids are like shaking and scared, and he's going around thanking everyone, saying, "Thank you, that was very knowledgeable of what you told me."
That was an
informative. And everyone was just like, no one couldn't stop laughing because he just didn't. And there was another time where everyone's like, he's like, "Do you like the food? Huh?" And all the kids like, "No." And he's like, "I like it." I thought and he was like, it was very well balanced. Like, it was hilarious. Like, they just couldn't break him.
Yeah.
And that's all they wanted to do was break him, and they just couldn't break him. And and then like even the guards had to laugh when he was like, they were like, "Do you like that food? Do you like it?" And he's like, "Yeah, it was a very well balanced diet. I appreciate it."
And everything you needed.
Yeah, and there was one bit where basically all the prisoners start shouting at him and make him do press ups and that. And one of the prisoners started shouting at the autistic kid. And as someone who does docs, you shouldn't get involved. You know what I'm saying? You have to be outside of it. But like I had to say to one of the prisoners, I said, like, "Oh mate, he's got autism, so I don't think he really understands what you're saying right now." Like, because he was giving him orders, and I was like, "Doesn't really understand." And he just big, massive prisoner, covered all face tattoos, just went, "Oh, okay, no worries, my bad." And then started being like, "Give me 10 press ups if you can." I just started being like, really that, It was like, He was like, he just
prisoner,
and he was like, "Good job."
Yeah,
you're doing very well. Like, he just felt he felt terrible for shouting at funny shit, man.
You better fucking run around this place if you feel you're in a position to complete
to carry out that task.
That's exactly what it was.
That's great, man. I was just gonna. You don't want to talk about why you're not doing it anymore? You just can't be bothered, or
it's just. I mean, it's done. I don't want to do that shit.
Fair.
It's just, you get to a point where you it's like monetary gains and sort of gains in the idea of this sort of interchangeable sort of a mirage of, you know, and I'm not famous, but fame or whatever the fuck, wherever you do things you don't want to do. It just wasn't worth it. It's not worth it. And I can't see any reason or gain to do it. And I think I did it, and I've done it, and you know, and it's that weird thing of when you work for something that you in your head told you wanted, and you work and you work and you work for it, and then you get it, and then you realize that it was fucked.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it was,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was, and it was shit, and you hated it.
Was it the TV people, like with all?
All
I
of
worked
that
in
shit,
production,
man.
so I
You
know.
know,
I know
oh,
it,
you
like,
want to? Well, it was nice talking to you guys.
yeah, no, but
yeah,
like,
you know, it
I
just wasn't. It
have
just got,
like,
yeah,
and you understand how things can get so twisted from
yeah,
like your original idea of something
exactly.
to,
You know. So it is what it is, and I'm gonna put out a podcast because there was a guy who was there at the time with me,
yeah,
John Hastings, and I think one day I'm gonna do that podcast because people ask me about it all the time, and would I do it, and when would I do it again, and people don't really understand why I won't. But I'm gonna do a podcast about it, and
fair.
think we're going to.
It's a very good you know, it's over now, but like for you as a vehicle, it must have been like handy, like, you know, it's been amazing for you in terms of like getting your name out there and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I just, you know what, like, and I think it's a fault of mine, but I just don't really think about things like that. I just kind of do something because I think it's good, and if people watch it and like it, that's good, and if people don't, then they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try,
yeah,
I try. I'm not saying I always do it. You know, sometimes I do things for the money, or sometimes you know, I've done things I don't want to do because, you know, for the vehicle and all of that shit. And it's
yeah.
probably and you know, probably speaking about it openly like this isn't good for my career either, but it is what it is. I probably don't have a career anymore because of Corona. Yeah, no, you know, so you know, people like, oh, it was a great vehicle and all of that. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. You know, I think you know, I'm happy. You know, I kind of got things from it that were cool, but you know,
Whatever.
yeah.
We are going to move on to fail of your life, Jamali. So like,
Yeah.
to take it away. The floor is yours. Like,
I
you
was
know.
going to say, hey, thy neighbor. Do you know what? Do you know what the biggest failing of my life is? And I think under a bigger banner, it comes under the idea that I wish I did more in my youth.
Okay.
But I like one of the things I
How
regret.
old are you now?
I'm 29, so I'm turning 30. So I'm hitting that sort of
Yeah. There's
quarter life
people
crisis.
listening to you as a 29-year-old going, I wish I did more when I was
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wish.
Wicked.
I'll give you an example. Right? This is the main example, right? Is I wish I went to Ayia Napa when I was 18.
Oh, okay.
You
Trust
know what I'm
me.
saying, though?
Me and
Guilty.
Ali, when we did that, didn't miss
Sorry.
anything. Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
not to make guests
Yeah.
feel threatened by
Yeah.
how
You
cool
did
we
it.
are. But
Yeah.
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 You did it wrong then, bro. I wish I never went to Ayia Napa. I never went to Malaga. And I never did those things, and I kind of regret that. Like, I really regret not going in the lads' holiday because I mean, I'm 29 now. If I go Ayia Napa now, it's kind of sad.
I don't. There's probably loads of them. I mean, I won't
Yeah,
lie to you,
I
Ali.
don't want to be one of them.
Yeah,
I don't
if
wanna
you're
be
like
one
me
of
and
them.
Ali, you would have gone as an 18-year-old and not got with any
Lost
girls.
your
So that's
virginity. What?
like
Sorry.
You got with no girls.
yeah, no,
In
yeah,
Ayia Napa, in the place where people go to go with people.
we're not all as cool as you, Jamali.
What?
Some of us
How
pasty.
come? Yeah, but what happened though? Was you like? I mean, you're not bad looking dudes. Like, what happened?
Thanks, Jamali. That's the nicest thing any guest has ever said.
Yeah,
I haven't said you're great looking,
appreciate
but like,
Yeah, but that's why it's still the nicest thing. Don't
Yeah.
worry,
I
people
mean,
here.
I think we're all just normal looking. Like, I'm not fucking Mr. Prince Charming myself, but like, what was there? Is it like hard to get off with?
We've spoken about it as well before. It's just like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
when no on this podcast, both me and Ali, like when you're 18 and you go off to Ayia Napa, right? You think like, oh, this is it, the boys' holiday, or even younger, like 17.
How
You go
many
to
boys
this
was
park.
there? How many dudes did you go with?
Huh?
How many dudes were there? How many groups?
I
Was it
went
just
with
you, Ali?
I didn't actually go to Ayia Napa. I went to Ibiza when I was 18 with 5 guys, right?
Okay.
But when you go,
you two didn't go together.
no.
Oh,
This
I was
was
about to say, how
before.
long have you two known each
No,
other?
no, no,
Like,
no,
yeah.
no.
Okay.
We're just talking about
You
lads
went,
holiday in general.
you
right?
went with
I know,
5
because
guys,
the
right?
banter's so fire.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I
You
know,
think
mate. There's
that
such a
we've been-
connectivity. But
Yeah.
so you went 5 guys. So it's you 5 guys.
Yeah.
Ibiza.
I went to Malia with probably there was 9 of us, I think.
No,
Two different hotels.
that's a proper lads holiday right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, well, I naturally had more friends, I guess.
Yeah,
But it was, and then I went Mali, but 18 as well. Yeah, so we probably had similar experiences. But you are just going there, and everyone's got the same intention. It is just like there's no classy. There's no like, oh, I'm actually going for this reason.
No.
It is like everyone's got booked into shitty rooms in shitty hotels
Yeah.
in order to fuck and
Yeah.
to get off and to get fucked up.
And as a
Did any
result
of
of that, there was about, I would say, maybe 30 men to every woman on the island.
Yeah, cool.
Uh,
It's like when they say like women getting free and dudes
yeah.
have to pay to get in because they want more women in there
Yeah.
because it's just the idea of women will sell tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds quite misogynistic, but it is
No,
what
but
it is.
that's how nightclubs work. Like, but
Yeah.
it's and also like when you're 18, we've spoken about this. You're too young because you are this. Well, me, and Ali were these sort of like pasty, skinny 18-year-olds. And you'll go in there, and then there's these like 23-year-old men from Leeds who have been bricklayers since they were like 16, who are like covered in tattoos and ripped as shit.
But you say covered in tattoos, but they got tribal tattoos. But still.
Yeah. But like you are just like you are
also what the girls are into. Jamali.
Yeah. No, listen, man. Them
there
were
as well.
smashing, mate. They were absolutely just smashing.
Yeah.
So I remember this bloke would picked up this girl just with one arm from the club. It was honestly
like a caveman,
like a regression caveman. Yeah, absolutely. And just walked and she was like, she was, to be fair, she was enjoying it. But
okay. I'd say that story could have gone two ways.
Yeah.
And then he dragged it.
Bro. And that was the last time anyone saw her.
Yeah.
See you later. I'm not fighting that bloke. So that's sort of what we had. But then what were you doing at that age?
18? I was like a bum. Like I was a real bum, and I was real like was I? Yeah, I think I was still like I was like a real fat kid. So I think I was still in my mind thinking I was. And I think in my mind I still thought I was fat. So I didn't want to. I didn't want to go. I think I even had like a really shit girlfriend at the time, like my first girlfriend, who I hated. But I was with her.
That's unusual for your first relationship not to work out.
Yeah, I know, right? It's mental, isn't it?
Normally they just.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Marriage.
No, and then.
Wait, so why was she shit though? What was happening there?
Do you know what? I say she's shit. We just wasn't made for each other. Like she needed to be with a banker. Do you know what I'm saying? She needed to be with a square dude.
What was she? Oh right, okay.
I was fucking, I was what I am. You know what I'm saying? I was a scumbag, and I was trying to. Run.
You're a scumbag, Jamali. But
I am a scumbag. But I wanted to be a scumbag. Like I wanted to be in Ayia Napa, fucking with tribal toes.
You were getting more.
Yeah. You've got more. You got more action. Trust me, with your girlfriend at 18 than
I know. But it's a regret. Like, and I think I started doing comedy at that time, so that kind of consumed me a little bit doing comedy. I was smoking too much weed at that time. That's like a big,
So what were you doing in your days then? Were you at sixth form? Were you uni? Were you working?
I think 18. I was at college. I did an acting course in Westminster Kingsway.
Nice.
And I was doing acting. It was, and that was all right. Like I had kind of fun there, but I would just never. I think for my 18th, I think when I was 18, I went Amsterdam with the boys. But I just didn't. But it's not
good.
I've done that.
It's a lot of sitting in those hostel rooms, just
smoking
weed.
Like, I just feel like in my youth, like in my 18s, 19s, 20s, 21s, and then by 20, I was just doing comedy. I was just consumed by comedy. So I never really experienced. Like I was in like a man's world. Do you know what I'm saying? Like comedy is an adult's world. And I was sort of in that, sort of thrust into that, and I was always like I always had like an old soul.
Okay.
And I was kind of always like an old young man.
Right.
So it kind of made me, not as.
Did people always think you were older than you were?
Yeah. I always I looked like 20 from like 16, 15. Like
I imagine you having that beard in like year 8.
Yeah. No, I started growing a beard at like 17, 18, but I was like in high school. I was already 6 foot. like
Fair.
15 stones. Like I was big. Like I've always been big.
Your presence.
Yeah. And you say about the weed smoking, like I was stoned every day until the age of about 2021, and I haven't smoked it since. Is the weed been sort of ever present in your life, or is it?
I'll try and
He said,
Yeah, it's just
finishing
I'm
the
fucking
this is
stoned right now. Yeah.
I try and smoke weed now,
Okay.
and I get cosmically terrified. Like
Yeah,
if I smoke weed now, I get anxiety on a level of like I'll start regretting things I did when I was 13.
Yeah.
Just what I'm saying, like I just get very like, oh my god, I fucked up my whole life, and I just leave it, man. Like I cannot mess with it now.
Were you smoking weed from a very young age as well?
Yeah,
I
you can't, sir.
No, I was gonna say I started smoking when I was 15. And I've spoken to a lot of people who sort of smoked when they were young and started smoking when they were sort of like 14, 15. And like all those people are the people who don't smoke weed now. I feel like if you start smoking weed later, your brain's had time to develop. You react way differently to when you
I smoked weed from I think the first time I smoked weed I was like 13. So like 13 to 18 I was smoking. And your brain hasn't developed. Like I think I think that's probably one of the main reasons I can't smoke now. Because the same with my dad. My dad can't smoke it, and he started smoking around 13.
Yeah. It's interesting. Something about the age, like so many people.
Brain development, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I really, I shouldn't have been doing drugs at 13, 15, and all that shit. But it's how we grew up.
It is what it is. Just kids doing kids.
But then what changed? How did you get into comedy then? If you were like chilling, scumbag lifestyle, smoking weed.
I just
comedy's quite a proactive game to get into.
You know what? It is, but it isn't. Like for me, I'm one of those type of people where if I want to do something, I'm an addict. Like I've got a real addictive personality. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I can't smoke one cigarette, I gotta smoke 30.
Yeah.
And when I'm interested in something, I get like recently my thing's been dogs.
Okay.
What are you doing with them?
Yeah.
Fucking dogs. I'm obsessed with dogs. I've been fucking dogs. There you go.
Yeah.
No, but
finally,
there you go. There you go. So your
thank you,
can
Jamali.
work. I've been
time to reduce the stigma. Yes,
there you
thank
go.
you.
I've been fucking. No,
what do you mean you've been obsessed with dogs? Watching dog videos?
Yeah.
What you've been watching dog videos, or what you've been doing?
Oh mate, I like reading dog books. Learn how to dog train. Looking at different breeds. What breed?
You have a dog?
No. Don't have a dog. Just what I'm saying, like that's just who I am. Like I'll get really into I got really into like bodybuilding. I don't lift weights, but I get really into the idea of it, and I research about it. Like I know about macros and sort of and the recovery time and muscles and all of that shit, but I don't ever really implement it ever, But like so what was the question for comedy? Like I just really liked it, so I kind of really go into it. And when people say, oh, it's a lot of hard work, it kind of is, but it's kind of not. like a lot of it is just kind of just be there.
Yeah, I mean,
the hard work for me, the hard work's to travel.
Yeah,
everything else isn't that hard. Like it's not, it's not, I'm not fucking searching for diamonds in the Sahara Desert. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
it's obviously harder things to do in this world.
Yeah. So I kind of, have some reality.
Line
my hands is like I work hard, but my hands are still soft. Like
you
know what I'm saying?
I work hard, sort of mentally grappling with words.
Right.
I sort of mining for punchlines. You know what I mean?
Something like that. So so when I was then I kind of transitioned into plug my laptop in. I kind of transitioned into doing comedy, so that even took more away from my youth. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
And I just feel like I just like when people told me what they were doing at 20, and like people go, oh my god, you were doing stand-up at 19, and I was like, yeah, but I would rather have been at house parties. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I stopped going to house parties at like 17.
Yeah.
Especially where I grew up, they always got locked off because like you used to get dudes from other areas. Because I grew up in like London, and I grew up in like the postcode wars. So like
which bit of London do you
I'm from East London.
Oh, okay, nice. Which
bit? Near Manor Park.
Okay.
and dudes would, and like there would be, you know, dudes would come from other areas and dudes would fight, and the parties would end because someone got stabbed or someone had a knife, and it was fucking wild. And I kind of didn't stop going house parties around like 17, 18 maybe, you know, and I kind of
Yeah,
went.
and comedian house parties, not quite the same.
A little less vicious.
Yeah, but I don't think I've been to one, you know. I don't get invited and shit. I don't get
You're
invited.
really not
to
missing
one.
anything there. That's you. You can come
I
to
don't get invited, bro. People don't.
I'll
I don't know,
invite you
man.
to my next one, Jamali. Tom won't be there because he never comes, but you can come if you want.
It'll just be you
come.
two.
Yeah. I don't know.
It might just be us two.
Yeah.
We can watch Marley and Me. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I think I've been invited to a couple. I get invited to that Wang, the Phil Wang and the Ian Sterling one where they do it in the warehouse and shit. But I never went because I'm, you know.
Yeah, cool. Us too. Yeah, definitely. Sweet. Yeah.
Oh, that one. Yeah, sorry.
You guys are on the come up. But yeah, so I kind of, so I wish I did more with my youth, and I kind of wish I, you know, sort of experienced the sort of, you know, because it's like I'm at that age now where I can't, you know, go magaloof and act like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna look at me like, you're 30, and I wouldn't want to do it now, but I wish I did it then.
A different
You know,
experience.
so I can say I've done it. You know, it's like, you know. Because even
there's a real competitiveness amongst comedians. Like, listeners might not know this, but there's always that thing of like, oh, you know, he started when he was 18. Oh man, I wish I started when, you know, he started when he was 16. Man, I wish I started when I was 16. Man, I'd be so. And there's that real culture of, you know, I would have made it, but I didn't start so late, sort of thing.
No, that's bullshit. But at the same time, as well, it's I think it's all right to start a bit later. You got a life to talk about, man. I done my first show. I was doing comedy at 18, 17, 18. And I spoke about nothing. Because I'm 17, 18. What the fuck am I? What the fuck I had no life. I never went fucking Iron Apple.
Yeah. You know when you get out your Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and the guy next to you, man, he's got
my
these
Beyblades and shit.
You guys get on the bus. What?
How old are you?
I'm 28.
26.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, good ages. But yeah,
thanks,
you
man.
know. But yeah, so I kind of, you know, I wish I kind of did those things in my youth.
Yeah.
You know, I never did.
It's just before we do go, do you want to share a worst gig on one you were on the come up, or you know, might have even been recently?
Oh mate, I've got you know what? I ain't told this story in a long time. So this one, okay. So I'm 17 at the time, right? And I've maybe done about 4 or 5 gigs, like early. I'm like fresh, maybe a couple, maybe 10, 20. But I'm new. My boy, who I got a friend called Ao, right? A friend of mine called Ao, and he's in production, but he's just, you know, them guys that just know everyone. He's just one of them guys. Right?
yeah, on road,
not even on road, but just knows people. Like, and you say, how do you know that motherfucker? I just know him.
Yeah.
He calls me one day, right? Remember, I'm 17, right? And I've done 20 shows. He calls me and he goes, what you doing on the 15th? And I go, I don't know, nothing. And he goes, cool, I've got you a gig at the Hammersmith Apollo, right? Yeah. You're gonna open for Joe, Jagged Edge, and John B. If you don't know who that is, that's their really big American.
Yeah.
Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge. That's big. That's big. That's really
right?
big. Yeah.
So I'm gonna host the show. Right. So it's gonna be me hosting the show, right? Joe is gonna fucking.
And you're 17. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. And I'm getting paid £100, right? Now back then, £100 was fucking incredible. Like fucking £100, fuck it, motherfucker, I did it for free.
Yeah, so 70s was a different time. Yeah.
I get there, right? So I get there, right? And basically what the guy tells me, he goes, what I need you to do is I need you to introduce go on stage, do about 5 minutes, whatever, warm up the crowd. Then I'm going to bring on the warm-up act, and then I'm going to bring on John B, Jagged Edge, then Joe. But before you bring on Joe, I need you to go do 10 minutes of stand-up, right? And all I wanted to do was 10 minutes of stand-up. That's all I was like, I don't care if I bomb. 10 minutes is and banging, right? And I looked on the line, and I think the youngest person who done stand-up at Hammersmith Apollo was like 18, 17, 18. So I would have been in that. I think they did an hour, but you know what I'm talking about. So I get to the show, right? And they're fucking feral, right? This audience hates me. They fucking, as soon as I walk on stage, they're booing me.
Okay.
Right? They hate me, right? And I remember this specifically, and people don't believe me, but I swear to God, I come off stage, I walk back on stage after I've introduced a couple of acts. I come back on stage, and there was a girl in the front row, and I just remember this girl in the front row screaming at me, "Not you again." Not you again.
Oh no.
They're fucking screaming at me. Get the fuck off stage. We hate you. Bring on Joe.
Well, so, but are they? So are they? They're from the offset. Have you done any material with them?
I'm trying to do crowd work and banter, but they don't want to hear
It's
this
just
shit. They
like
want to
that,
see
sorry,
musicians. They want to see this shit. But remember, I've got to do 10 minutes, and that's all I'm waiting for, right?
So you eat absolute shit for the 5 minutes.
I eat shit because I just want to do my 10. I don't even care if I bomb. I just want to do my 10. This crowd gets so angry that there's someone who comes to propose to his girlfriend on stage, right? So he walks on stage, they boo him, he proposes, they cheer, then they boo again. Right? It's fucking horrible. So basically,
wait, did the girlfriend say yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they cheered, and then they just went back.
The manager of the show was like, talk to them, make it spread time. So I'm trying to interview them, and people are just booing. So I'm like, all right, well, they want to hear it. Boom. So I'm about to do my 10 minutes, right? And then my boy comes up to me and he goes, I'm not going to say the comedian's name, but he goes, yo, there's a comedian who's at the gate who knows the promoter, and he's saying, like, can he introduce an act? Right? He says he's not going to do stand-up. He says, can he do stand-up? And the promoter's like, no, we've booked Jamali, you can't do stand-up. And he's like, please, let me just go on, introduce an act. I won't even do stand-up, right? And so the promoter comes to me, goes, look, I know this guy, he's a comedian, he's quite a big comedian too, on the urban circuit, black circuit, fuck it. And he goes, and he really he just wants to introduce an act. He goes, look, he's not getting paid, only you're getting paid. Let him just introduce an act just so he'll fuck off, right? But you're doing the stand-up. I said, okay, cool. So I bring him on stage, right? And he does the 10-minute spot I'm supposed to do, right? So he does the stand-up, right? And the promoter's standing beside.
That's unusual. Someone from the urban circuit not sort of respecting the time.
Time and just yeah.
Well, no, it's not. It's not like respecting time. It's like he specifically promised me he wouldn't do that.
Right.
And I sort of had this idea of brotherhood in comedy because I'm fucking naive and young.
Yeah.
And he just went up and done 15 minutes.
Did he kill it as well?
He done good.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They all knew him. They all knew who he was. Like I think
Okay.
they all knew who he was because he's pretty. He's pretty big. He's pretty established. And I was crushed. And then the promoter come up next to me. It was like, man, I'm really sorry. He's getting paid. You're not getting paid. But I'm really sorry this happened. I know it meant a lot to you. But there's an issue. Joe won't come out his dressing room, so I need you to go on stage and do 45 minutes. And I'm like, what? Goes, yeah, I need you to do like half an hour to 45 minutes after this. I'm like, so you want me to do stand up after he's just done 15 minutes? And he goes, yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm just pissed off at this point, and I'm so mad, and I'm like, this guy's taking the piss. He's only, he's taking advantage of me, and and so I go on stage, right, and I roll everyone up, and I say, who's ready to see Joe? And everyone's just screaming. Ah! I go, you guys on the left, you want to see Joe? Ah! I said, you guys on the right, you want to see back? Ah! The roof is fucking blown off, and I go, he says he's not going to come out for another 35 minutes, and I walk off stage. And I go home, and I say, keep £100, and I left, and I never turned back, and I went home.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's
my
mad.
Yeah, that's one of my worst gigs.
Wow,
Yeah,
what a story, man.
That's there was I got a couple stories, but I got another quick one if you want to hear it. So
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just remember this story. it's my first time doing a show overseas, right? So I'm doing a show in Rotterdam.
Okay.
And so I do this. It's my last show, right? So I do, and the shows have been going fine. And I don't know if you know about Dutch audiences, but they will stare at you. They just stare. They don't heckle. They just stare.
Hey,
right?
I don't know the cafe out in Amsterdam, and it's
Oh
very,
yeah. For Bob.
yeah,
Yeah, mate. And they just fuck it, man. So I've done the show, and it's gone all right. And not Tom Stayed. What the fuck's his name? Tom Rhodes.
yeah.
Tom Rhodes sees me after the show and goes, "Hey man, like we're chatting." And he goes, "Do you want to smoke some weed?" And like I ain't smoked weed in forever, but I'm like, "Fucking Tom Rhodes, let me smoke a joint with Tom Rhodes." So I start hitting the joint. I'm flamed. I'm just on fire right now, right? And then they say to me, "Hey, are you ready to go on?" And I'm like, "What do you mean go on?" They're like, "You've got another show," and I've got a show in the same room, right? And I'm like, "Fuck."
Oh.
I'm blissed. And they were like, "You're on next." So I'll go on stage and I'm doing my act, right? And it's just silence, right? Just death. Because I'm high, I'm getting paranoid and anxiety.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck, I leave. And I'm
All these
so
Dutch people
nervous.
staring at
My
you is not what
mouth
you
is,
want when you're
yeah,
high.
the metal is in my mouth. And I'm just like, and I'm freaking out. And I look into the crowd, and they're the same crowd from the last show, and I've just done my same act.
Oh,
So they've just heard all the same
same
jokes.
thing again.
So that's why they're silent. And if I was sober, I would have gone, but where I'm high, I've just freaked out. And I've just
Oh.
and I just scuttled off stage. And I think there was like just hardly any clapping as I walked off. And it was just all the other comedians like, what the fuck just happened? It was fucking horrifying. But yeah, that's another bad one.
Oh, that's fucking.
What do
Funny.
you just they're brilliant stories,
Oh,
Jamali.
thank
Thank you. But just we ask comedians as well, like, what do you do after a bad gig then? How do you like get back to it? How do you or do you not just not
It
bother? Do
depends
you still
how
bother?
bad it is. If it's just I had a kind of hair set, then I just, I just whatever about it. I don't like to talk to. If I have a bad show, I don't talk to none of the audience. I leave. I say my goodbyes and I leave. I don't fucking hang around and stink up the room. I fucking leave, right? That's what I do. I don't want to hang around. I don't want to see no one. I just want to leave. If I have like a set that's story worthy, I'll call up one of my friends. I'll call up like Elliot Steele or something. And I'll just tell him, I say, dude, just guess what just happened. And he'll take the piss and we laugh. And then, because I think they're war stories and I think they're fun. And I think that's what makes us, isn't it? I think we always look at our successes as what makes us, but it's not. I think it's our failures and our kind of, it's how you deal with those bad ones and what happened in them bad ones. Because, let's be honest, no one wants to hear a story about that time you killed, but everyone wants to hear about that time you died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
I think that's important,
Yeah, especially in comedy. Well,
Yeah.
honestly, Jamali, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, bro. I hope it was all right.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Is there anything you want to plug or like social media
I'm
handles or anything?
starting. Jamali Maddix on all platforms. But also I'm starting back up my podcast called The Breakdown.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start recording them whilst I'm in lockdown. And I've asked a couple of people to do it. There's one guy and from the first series, I kind of just had like people who were in the public eye, but this time I'm kind of changing it up. But there's a couple of guys I'm trying to get on. There's one guy I'm trying to get on who was a prison warden at San Quentin prison, and
Nice.
I'm trying to get like real sort of different people on and stuff like that. And it's just sort of laid back conversations and stuff. But yeah, so my podcast, The Breakdown, it should be episodes up in a couple of weeks.
Amazing. Wicked.
Cool. Sounds great.
Sweet. Yeah. You can follow us at AIDIF Pod on Twitter and Instagram, and me at Tom Elwes on all good platforms, including TikTok, because I'm a thing there
Especially
now.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Exclusively TikTok.
Exclusively. If you're 14 and like sketch comedy, hello. Ali.
Yep, at Ali Woods Gigs. I'm putting out some sketches now as well, so I hope you're enjoying them, people who are watching them, and if not, you can find them on there, Ali Woods Gigs. And also, of course, check out Patreon, patreon.com/AIDIFpod. If you're in a position to donate anything to keep this going, please do patreon.com/AIDIFpod where you can donate. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Jamali. Thank you very much, Ali. Goodbye.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Bye.